Welcome to this yin yoga class for your urinary bladder meridian line. Often I think the urinary bladder meridian, which is paired as the yang organ to your kidney yin organ, gets kind of lost in the shadow of the kidneys. So it'll be nice to dedicate a whole class to it today. In our membership community, we're dedicating a whole month to it this January. So if you'd like more on that, definitely join us in our membership community. Your urinary bladder meridian starts at the inner corners of your eyes, goes up and over your head, down either side of your spine, and down the backs of your legs. This is the longest meridian in your whole body. And it acts as a reservoir, like your bladder acts as a reservoir for energy in your body. So in this class, we'll be thinking about our energy reserves. And also the bladder stores energy. It's a reservoir, as I've said. And also it purifies, it detoxifies. So the fluids that come through your body get detoxified through the bladder as well. So we'll think about purification and the reservoirs of energy in our body in this class. We're going to start with the beginning here with our eyes, with a little bit of acupuncture for your eyes. So let's begin with that by just rubbing our hands together. So you're going to just rub your hands together to create some chi. And we're just going to also just shake off any excess chi or negative chi, excess chi, stagnant chi from our hands and create some good chi. So we'll start with our bladder meridian on the inside corner of your eyes, just by gently, very gently pinching from the inside corner to the outside corner of your eyes. Let's just do that 3 times. Keep breathing. And then, right along your brow bone. And then you're going to rest your thumbs on your jawline, and you're going to use your index fingers to just tap along that brow bone again, very gently. And then you're going to go underneath your eyes. And then you're going to rub your hands together. Rest them over your eyes. And do that one more time. And you can feel those energy reserves building already as the darkness sinks into your eyes. Okay, our first yin pose is going to be a variation of locust against the wall. So you're going to come against the wall. And you're going to put your knees right up against the wall here. You're going to be in this pose for 3 minutes. So your knees are going to go against the wall. You can have your forehead down, or you can have your elbows down and press up like this. For me, this position doesn't work great in my neck. It tends to cause migraines for me. So I'm going to come down, and vice versa. If this causes you problems in your low back, then you could just lie on your belly and do Sphinx pose. Okay, so pay attention to your body. Do what works best for you. We're just trying to get the back line here. So whatever way you want to stimulate it, you can. So you're going to be here for 3 minutes. So you're choosing an appropriate edge that you can soften into, be still, and stay for a while. So your bladder meridian is your complementary yang meridian to your kidney yin organ in water element season or winter. And it supports us in storing our urine for eliminating waste from our bodies. And because it's a flexible organ, it can hold a little or a lot of fluid. And in this sense, it's not only physically flexible, but it also relates to our mental, emotional, and energetic flexibility as well. Okay, you're going to go ahead and release this pose from your body. And we're going to either lie on your belly or your back to feel the rebound. Okay, from here we're going to affect the pull and pressurize the tissues of the bladder meridian along the backs of the legs. You'll probably need a yoga strap for this, or the tie from the back of your bathrobe. We're going to do hand to big toe pose here, so you can hook up the strap along the back of your right foot. You can either have your left leg bent, especially if you have back issues, or you can have it long. It's up to you, whatever works best for you. You just want to feel something happening along the back of your right leg here. You're going to be in this pose for 3 minutes. So your bladder is both a reservoir for water and is responsible for discharging waste. So as we pull and pressurize the bladder meridian, you can ask yourself, what is your sense of your energy reserve in your body? Or, how much gas do I have in my gas tank, so to speak? So as you're holding this pose on this body, just be curious about how much energy reserves you have, how much gas you have in your gas tank. Soften through your joints, through your ankle, your knee, your hip, your shoulders, your jaw. Okay, you're going to go ahead and release this side from your body. And pause here, feel the rebound, feel the flow of chi, particularly through the right side of your body. Feel the difference between the right and left side of your body. And then you're going to go ahead and hook up your left foot. Draw your left leg in until you feel sensation along the back of your left leg. Again, if you have back issues, you can bend your right knee. Or you can have your right leg long, whatever feels best in your body. You want to choose a position that you can stay with for a while so that we can get into the bladder meridian here. So our body's made up of 70% water. And be curious about what your sense of the water is in your body. How does that water feel in your body? Does it feel like it's clean and flowing smoothly? So equally as important of how effectively our bladder meridian system is reserving the water is how it's releasing waste from our body. Are you feeling any sense of stagnation, blockages, or excess, particularly along that back line? If you have pain in the back of the neck, and the upper back, and the lower back, sciatica along the back of the legs, they can all be signs that there might be blockages, excess, or stagnation along that bladder meridian, and we can really work with it by pulling and pressurizing the the tissues of the bladder meridian. And it can give us a sense of having cleaner waters within our bodies too when we do. Okay, so go ahead and release that leg and feel the flow of chi. Okay, so you can go ahead and bend your knees, roll to your side, and make your way up to seated. For the next pose, you're going to need a folded blanket and probably your bolster. We're going to do caterpillar pose. So you can take your folded blanket to sit on it. And you can grab your bolster to lean forward on it. And we're going to be in caterpillar pose for a little longer, for 6 minutes. Okay, so we'll have our legs out in front of us here. And you can use your bolster to support your head here. Let you rest a little bit more. And you want to lean forward until you feel sensation along the backs of the legs here. So like I was saying before in the previous pose, it can be really interesting if you have any issues in the areas along the bladder meridian, either somewhere along the backs of the legs, like maybe sciatica or low back issues or upper back issues, and I'm not a medical doctor at all, but one thing that happens to me is that the migraines that I'll get, they'll come up the back of the neck and over the head, right along that bladder meridian line. And what I've found is that doing bladder meridian classes can ease headaches, even though, all the literature will say that liver and gallbladder classes is much better for easing headaches. So it can be really interesting for you to feel into your own body and see where in the meridians things are bothering you, and seeing what happens when you pull and pressurize those tissues, if they ease any symptoms. Because if there's stagnation along the meridian lines, it can be interesting to see what happens. Okay, I have a poem for you here. This is called Where Many Rivers Meet by David Whyte. All the water below me came from above. All the clouds living in the mountains gave it to the rivers, who gave it to the sea, which was their dying. And so I float on cloud, become water, central sea surrounded by white mountains. The water's salt, once fresh, could fall and stream, rush, tree root, and tide bank, leading to the river's mouth, and the mouths of the rivers sing into the sea. The stories buried in the mountains give out into the sea, and the sea remembers and sinks back from the depths, where nothing is forgotten. And this is a poem called At the River Clarion by Mary Oliver. I don't know who God is exactly, but I'll tell you this. I was sitting in the river named Clarion on a water-splashed stone, and all afternoon I listened to the voices of the river talking. Whenever the water struck a stone, it had something to say. And the water itself, and even the mosses trailing under the water. And slowly, very slowly, it became clear to me what they were saying. Said the river, I am part of holiness. And I too, said the stones. And I too, whispered the moss beneath the water. I've been to the river before a few times. Don't blame the river that nothing happened quickly. You don't hear such voices in an hour or a day. You don't hear them at all if selfhood has stuffed your ears. And it's difficult to hear anything anyway through all the traffic, the ambition. Okay, you're going to slowly release this pose from your body and come up to a seated position. Just bring your legs in, give them a little hug. You can come to a cross-legged position, do a little twist. A little side bend. And then you're going to rest back on your back for Savasana. You might want to take your bolster and place it underneath your knees for a little added comfort. If you're getting chilly, you can pull your blanket up over top of you. And I'm going to read you a poem. This poem is called In Praise of Water by John O'Donohue. Let us bless the grace of water, the imagination of the primeval ocean, where the first forms of life stirred and emerged to dress the vacant earth with warm quilts of color. The well whose liquid root worked through the long night of clay, trusting ahead of itself openings that would yet yield to its yearning, until at last it arises in the desire of light, to discover the pure quiver of itself, flowing crystal clear and free through delighted emptiness. The courage of a river to continue belief in the slow fall of ground, always falling further towards unseen ocean. The river does what words would love, keeping its appearance by insisting on disappearance. Its only life surrendered to the event of pilgrimage, carrying the origin to the end. Seldom pushing or straining, keeping itself to itself, everywhere all along its flow. Let us bless the humility of water, always willing to take the shape of whatever otherness holds it. The buoyancy of water, stronger than the deadening downward drag of gravity. The innocence of water flowing forth without thought of what awaits it. The refreshment of water, dissolving the crystals of thirst. Water, voice of grief, cry of love, and the flowing tear. Water, vehicle and idiom of all the inner voyaging that keeps us alive. Blessed be water, our first mother. So as we're coming towards the end of this class, just tune in again to the sense of your energy reserves. Maybe it's a little different towards the end of the class. Maybe you have a sense of a little bit more energy reserves now. And also tune into the inner waters of your body. Is there a sense of a clarity of things flowing smoothly? The meridians of our body can have stagnation, blockages, and excess. How would you describe the inner waters of your body as you're resting back here? So you can slowly wiggle your fingers and toes and start to stretch out, invite some movement back into your body. And gradually making your way to seated. And as you do so, I really just want to acknowledge you for taking that time to build the energy reserves in your body. So many of us go through our days feeling exhausted and burnt out, and to just have that cushiony energy reserve is such a gift to yourself and to other people in your life. And to spend that time purifying the energy and the water in your body also is a beautiful gift to yourself and to others that you come into connection with. So thank you so much for taking this time to practice your yoga today as a gift to yourself and to those that you're in relationship with.